walking through a ghost town. Y'all ain't playing my sounds. Don't tell me to calm down. Don't tell me to calm down. Only time I go backwards is when I wanna moonwalk. Don't test me, my mood's wrong. Don't test me, my mood's wrong. We are who we say that we are. You ain't lost in the stars, and it's all from the start. Never running no pace, never on the right page, but we still read that book, and we still run that race. Ay. Mississippi Racer riding out, no shortcuts, no time for that. Mississippi Racer riding out till the wheels fall off, I'm driving that. Mississippi Racer riding out, we'll stop burning, strike the match. Mississippi Racer riding out, red light, green light, red light, good night. Ay. Red light, green light, red light, good night. 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 Time to chill, don't sweat it.
What's up, everyone? It's that time. Birds Deep. The season is upon us. I got my man Gene here. Cool's going to join us later. I'm Lee Godfrey. Tons to talk about tonight. Full season preview. We're going to preview the Brazil game, talk about the surroundings and all that. But first, we need our introductions. I'm the Godfrey, TH to the double E, Godfrey. And to my left, correct me if I'm seeing it on a different angle than you, I have my man, the NFL genius, a.k.a. Mean Gene. Tell him who you are, Gene.
Gene.
The mics have been redlined, so that's what
I
happened.
figured is, bro, I am so fired up for this season. I'm so fired up for Eagles football. I'm so fired up for the show, for tonight, for the NFL to start again. Man, I've been getting my fix about watching preseason games. I'm ready for the real thing. Tonight, tomorrow, and then Sunday. 7 hours of commercial-free football starts now.
Hell yeah.
I'm fired up, bro. If you couldn't tell.
Commercial free? Is it
I watched the Red Zone, bro.
Oh, okay.
No commercial. If the Eagles aren't on Sunday, I'm watching the Red Zone from 1 p.m. to 8 p.m. Actually, I'm lying. I'm on there at 12:58. I watch the countdown. And then 8 p.m., I see every touchdown from every game. And I flip right over to Sunday Night Football. There's an imprint of my ass on the couch. It's like sitting there right there all day. I watch football from 1 p.m. to midnight in the same damn spot all day. Anybody that's invited over, you can come over. I live at 14 Meadow Lane. Come right over, sit right on that couch, hang out with me. I'll watch football with you. But don't come over if you're going to say some dumb shit. Now, during the Eagles game, it's totally different. I don't allow a lot of people in my circle during the Eagles game. You come over during the Eagles game, you have to know what you're talking about. And if you don't know what you're talking about, that's fine. You just got to sit there, cheer, and shut up. Don't say any dumb stuff. You say dumb stuff, you can get out of my house. You piss me off during the Eagles game, I'm throwing people out of my house in the middle of the Eagles game.
True story. So my setup is I usually got 3 TVs running. I got one with the Red Zone. I got one with NFL Sunday Ticket, and then another game that I might be watching that's nationally. So I usually got 3 going from about 11 till the end of Sunday Night Football. But I love what Gene said right there because I have kicked people out. There used to be a guy, if you're a Cowboys or Giants fan, maybe if you're a Commanders fan, I might let you in. But if you're those two, you're definitely not coming in. I had a guy that used to live above me. I would only let him talk to me through my door when a Giants-Eagles game was on, especially because I wasn't going to allow him to come in there and shit talk me in my house. It was not going to happen.
You're out of your mind if you were like, I cannot believe you'd even let them in the house.
Well, he pays rent.
I don't let Giants and Cowboys fans in the house.
Well, he pays rent. So I had to let it. He knocked on my door. And,
Get out.
He pays rent. So I got to kind of let him live. But I was like, nah, bro, we're not talking during then. Nope. So I won't let you troll me at my own house. It's not happening. Especially if you're like a fan of another team and you don't know football and you start saying some fugazi stuff, I'm going to be like, yo, you got to get out. I think I kicked out someone last time. Yeah, I have kicked out people. Usually I know it sounds crazy, but I watch football alone. And I'll let certain people come over, but most people I watch it alone with because I'm not going to pay attention to you at all. And some people might get offended. Like there's not going to be like, hey, let's go play a quick game of Jenga or no. There's going to be none of that shit. Every TV is going to be occupied with football. You're not turning on Disney on Ice I'm sorry. Some people have kids. You might have to deal with that. I get it. I know a guy that has like a projector, and in the corner he has a 43-inch TV for his little girl, which is cool. It makes sense. She's watching Disney and he's watching football. Good compromise. I like the flexibility. But for me, there's one church that I go to. It's called the NFL, and it's only part-time. It's not full-time. And when the NFL, church session starts, I'm there, and we're doing Holy Sacrament for the football. Let's go.
I only watch football on Thursdays, Sundays, Mondays, some Fridays, some Saturdays. That's it. I feel like that's not too crazy, right? Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. That's not that bad. There's only 5 days. Tuesday and Wednesday, you can watch Disney on Ice. I watch football every other day, though.
There will be no, if you date me, we will not be doing.
It's an absolute deal breaker if she's a Cowboys fan, right? You would not date a Cowboys fan, right?
Depends on the hotness level, but
no, hotness 14.
On
a scale 1 to 10, she's your dream girl, but she's a Cowboys fan.
Oh man, I would eventually lose my shit and just break up with her anyway, so I might as well just not. I mean, the Giants fan mode, probably not. I mean,
I was about to remove you.
Probably not, but I would. I will say I'm not going to be doing any apple cider tours in the fall. Not going to be getting on hay rides. Not going to be doing pumpkin spice tours, pumpkin spice beer tasting. None of that shit's happening. We'll do it on Saturday. I'll do it with you on Saturday, but it ain't happening on Sunday.
I filed a formal complaint at my local Wawa on August 30th when they put a pumpkin spice out on August 30th. You're not allowed to put pumpkin spice out until September, until after Labor Day.
I feel October, really, to be honest.
No, September. It's a fall thing. I get it for football.
Yeah, but yeah, I feel that. And plus, listen, man, like football is football, so there's no disturbances allowed. But with the pumpkin spice thing, yeah, you guys are out of control with that shit, man.
100%. Well, what we're going to talk about this week is we're going to break down in a full schedule. We're going to give our wins, losses. Cool will be on to help us with that. And then we'll also be breaking down this week's game in São Paulo, Brazil. 2 key injuries. 2 Eagles starters will not be playing this Friday night. Both of them ruled out earlier in the week. If you didn't know, Devin White with an ankle injury is not playing. Nakobe Dean will get the start at middle linebacker and will be wearing the helmet. And then just today, just 2 hours ago, Isaiah Rodgers has been ruled out with a hand injury. It looks like Keely Ringo will be getting the start on the outside with Quinyon Mitchell staying in the nickel. So we'll be talking about that and how that will affect the Philadelphia Eagles. I'll tell you right now, the key to victory. I know what it is, and I don't want to go too far into it because we're going to break it down later. But the key to victory is the pass rush. You got to get to Jordan Love. You cannot give him time in that pocket. You got to hit him, and you got to put him on the ground. And losing Hassan Reddick and, looking at that Philadelphia Eagles team, Bryce Huff's got to give you everything. Jalen Carter's got to take that next step forward. Jordan Davis has to take a step forward. Brandon Graham still has to have a little bit left in the tank. The Eagles' defensive line versus the Packers' O-line is the battle of the game. Because if you give Jaden Reed, Christian Watson, and those receivers, Romeo Doubs, the Dontavian Wicks, if you give those guys time, Jordan Love's going to eat you apart. He's going to. Now, if you put him on his butt, if you do what the Giants did to him, the Bears did to him, he looks very normal. He's very normal. He's got to get to the quarterback. And we'll find that out on Friday night. But without further ado, we're going to get into our schedule breakdown. At first, I want to show it to you, right? I want to show you the schedule and let you see it, right? I want to let you see the schedule and you can get your whole, your opinion of it. Here we go. I'm going to pop it right up on the screen. I got the big screen for you guys right there. I zoomed it in, made it look real pretty. You see the game highlighted in São Paulo, Brazil, September 6th, the Philadelphia Eagles versus the Green Bay Packers. We're going to run through it real quick. Then we're going to give our wins, losses. Week 2, we play a Monday night football game. It's the home opener at the Link versus Kirk Cousins and the Atlanta Falcons. Week 3 and 4, we go on the road. At New Orleans, at Tampa. At Tampa's got to be a get-back game. Got to get them back after last year. Week 5, we got an early bye week. Then we got the Cleveland Browns that come to town. We play at New York for the Saquon Barkley Revenge Tour. We play at Cincinnati, home versus Jacksonville. It's the Dougie P return. You got the Dallas Cowboys coming into town. Or is that at Dallas? Sorry, I didn't read that right. That's at Dallas. The green indicates home, and the black indicates on the road. And then you have the Rams. There's the Commanders in town. Then you have the Rams in LA. Then we'll scroll down a little bit right here. You got to go play at the Baltimore Ravens. Then you get home games versus the Panthers and the Steelers. Go visit the Commanders. And then you end the season at home versus the Cowboys and the Giants. Another season where the Philadelphia Eagles will not get on an airplane after December 8th. That's always a nice thing. It's always a nice thing. The last, actually, no, that game was in Philadelphia. I'm sorry, November 24th was the last time the Philadelphia Eagles will be on an airplane. The whole month of December, they won't be touching an airplane. That's not bad. That's good.
No travel. Real good. Real good.
Oh, good.
By the way, I wanted to your boy here is dealing with a violation that's not purposeful, but I have to go to a wedding tomorrow night. There will be there'll be plenty of Eagles fans, and I let the bride know, who is my cousin, that there will be the game being watched on TV while the ceremony goes on. You will not be able to.
Friday night wedding.
Now, to be fair to her, she's a hardcore Eagles fan, and she made it before the schedule was out. And who could have predicted there'd have been a Friday night Eagles game?
That's fair.
I mean, now, because I know her, the reason why she made it on Friday is because she's a Birds fan and she didn't want to do it Sunday. So she thought she was outsmarting the system, get a cheaper wedding on Friday, then Saturday, not do it on Sunday. We're safe for the Birds game. She did it after Labor Day on purpose, and she got fucked. So that sucks for her. But your boy's gonna have to suffer through that, and I'm gonna be watching it on my phone. I did it. My sister got married on a Sunday. I almost never forgave her for that. It was during the Eagles' first Super Bowl run with T.O., or their only one, and it was the Ravens versus Eagles game, and we were watching it. This is a la 2004. I think I had Sling TV on my BlackBerry, not Sling TV, the Sling player, or some smartphone, and we were watching it on a smartphone screen like this big. So, listen, the love is real, but I just want to throw that in there. That's gonna be. Think about me tomorrow night when I'm watching this game at a wedding. That's all.
I mean, I won't.
Right.
I will be watching the game. I will not be thinking about you whatsoever, and I blame you. I would have declined the invitation to the wedding.
Well, I didn't know when. I can't do that.
I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm a little bit crazy though. I don't miss the Eagles games though, ever.
My one cousin's a season ticket holder, and he was like, "Why would you do that when the Eagles game on?" I'm like, "Fred, she didn't know the game was going to be on Friday. Like, relax, buddy."
Check your Fred.
Yeah.
All right. We're gonna no, we're not. We're gonna do it right now. We're gonna start the schedule. Cool McCain will be joining us shortly. He's going to give us his predictions also. We'll start with the Green Bay Packers in São Paulo, Brazil. Do the injuries change the way you think of it? No Devin White, no Isaiah Rodgers. I mean, you could be missing worse players and better players, but these are definitely key positions. These are starting linebacker, middle linebacker, starting outside cornerback. These are both positions of value. I don't know if that changes it for you. Who do you got, Godfrey? Eagles versus Packers in São Paulo, Brazil.
Man, this is such a tough game because it's really a home game for both. I mean, they're both away. It's not a home game; it's an away game, I should say. What's the spread again, Gene? It's 2.5 Eagles.
Yep.
The little half-point hook there always bothers me, but okay. I look for the Eagles to cover, and I say that with trepidation because the thing that I question is what Gene was bringing up. I have faith in Vic Fangio. I think he's going to be a D coordinator for the Eagles for a long time. He's not going anywhere. He's not going to be a head coach. But the question is, do we have the right parts for his system? Not having a Sam Reddick is definitely going to hurt. You know, what you think about him doesn't really matter. Is Bryce Huff going to bring the Thunder to match the contract that he got? And pass rush is key. And I do think that the Eagles going to have to do something on offense to kind of help out the defense here. And Devin White not being there also is not going to help either, although I'm excited to see Nakobe Dean get the helmet. So, with that being said, I am going to go with the Eagles to cover because it's a toss-up, really. And I think the Eagles, I think they're ready. I like the Packers this year. I just don't think the Packers are as good as people may have you believe right now. I think they take a tiny step back this year. But we'll see.
I've said this already. I'll say it again. I think the Philadelphia Eagles are better at every level. I think you can make an argument that the Packers are better with their front seven. I don't think there's any other position on the football field the Packers are better than the Philadelphia Eagles. I think the Eagles have them in every single position offensively, running back, tight end, offensive line, wide receivers, quarterback. I think their secondary is better now after the additions of Quinyon Mitchell, Cooper DeJean, C.J. Gardner-Johnson, Darius Slay, Reed Blankenship. I think their secondary is definitely better. And look, if you want to argue that the Packers have a better front seven because their linebacking core is better than Philadelphia's, I would argue that the Philadelphia Eagles have a better defensive line. But the Eagles moving to a 3-4, you kind of got to look at it as a front seven as a whole. So I'll give the edge to the Packers there. That's all the edge I'm giving them in this game. I like the Philadelphia Eagles. I like them big. We'll get into score prediction and break down the game. But we're gonna mow through this schedule so we can break down the football game as a whole. Excuse me. Sorry about that. Week 2 at home, Monday Night Football. I don't know what the Philadelphia Eagles have done. It feels like every time they get Kirk Cousins, it's week 2 at home on Monday Night Football. You get them in prime time early in the season. I love that. I think the Eagles win that football game also. Kirk Cousins coming off the Achilles tear. I don't think he's 100% ready yet. I think he'll get there. I think the Falcons make a lot of noise this year. I don't think week 2 is the time where they start. So I have the Philadelphia Eagles winning that game. I have them 2-0.
Yeah.
Well, that would be up to you, brother.
Do I have them 2-0? Yeah, I do. I do think the Falcons are improved. I still think they have to. They haven't really shown a lot in preseason. It's weird, right? You think they're going to play Michael Penix. They barely played Kirk Cousins. They didn't either. So I really don't know what to expect from them. Maybe their system's not implemented to the way they wanted to, but I do think that the Eagles are going to be 2-0 after that game. All
right. Well, week 3, you got the New Orleans Saints, and this game is at New Orleans. Tough place to play. I'll tell you this. This is what I said when the schedule came out. The Philadelphia Eagles will lose one of these 2 games, week 3 or week 4. They will be 3-1 going into the bye. So I'm going to give the Philadelphia Eagles a loss here versus the New Orleans Saints and a win versus the Buccaneers, and I'm going to do this in a book. And the reason I'm saying this is I think they're going to lose one of the 2 games, and the one I want to win more is the playoff game from last year where the Bucs beat us up. I want to get Baker back. I want to get the Bucs back. So I'll give them a loss versus the Saints and a win versus the Buccaneers. I have them 3-1 going into the bye.
It's really hard for me to do that because the Saints just seem like they're a rudderless ship, right? Like, Dennis Allen, I don't know if he's making any friends down there as the coach from what I read. Maybe I'm getting bad information, but I don't know. But I do agree with you. I just don't know which one it will happen because, keep in mind, the Eagles do have a new offensive coordinator and they are implementing a new system here. It is not going to be 100% clean coming out of the gate. I don't believe it. I think we're fooling ourselves as fans if we do think that. But I would probably lean toward, the hiccup against the Saints because Black is away, right?
Yeah, they're away and they're at New Orleans and at Tampa.
And they seem to always shit the bed in the Superdome, except for a few games in my whole memory. Like I could think of a playoff game that they won once, but every time they're in the damn Superdome, it doesn't go well. I have bad memories of that place. So I'm going to go with
3-1 going into the bye, right?
Yeah. I think they beat the Buccaneers easily.
I love week 6 coming out of the bye. You get Deshaun Watson, the Cleveland Browns. They're a very good defense, but I like the spot for Philadelphia. It's coming off the bye. It's at home, October 13th in the link. I'm going the Eagles there. I have them 4-1.
This schedule is so favorable. It's ridiculous. That's a tough matchup. I got a lot of respect for that Browns D. Coming off a bye, though, how does our D look? Yeah, it's at home, so I'm going to give them the slight edge there. It's going to be a close game, but I'm going to go with the Eagles.
Let's catch my man Cool McCain up. We're both 4-1 after the Browns game. Cool. I'd like to ask your opinion on where you're at. By the way, welcome to the show, Cool McCain. He's on the side of the road, making sure he can join us every week on Birds Deep. He's absolutely a staple of the show. Appreciate you for pulling over. I know you had a long day at work, but where we're at right now is we're going through the schedule. Me and Godfrey both have the Eagles 4-1 after week 6. We both have, and we have the same loss. We have the hiccup versus the Saints in the Superdome. How are you looking at these first 5 games, Cool?
I'm gonna be honest with you. I was 5-0 after the first 5 games. Well, 6 games because we got to bye.
First 6 weeks, 5-0. I got it.
Yeah,
so you have them winning all 5 games, 5-0. I don't see a trip up in New York. There was Saquon Barkley revenge game. I don't see that, right? So I have them 5-1 after week 7. Anybody see a trip up there?
Nah, man. New York aren't neighbors, but Danny Dimes, or Danny Pennies, as I like to call him, is still the quarterback. Will he survive by then? I don't know. I'm not as scared as the backups. And the Giants just, this is the Saquon Barkley revenge game. And I do think he's that guy that likes to taste the revenge. He's gonna want to show out in that game. I guarantee it.
100%. I don't disagree with you one bit. I love the Eagles in that game. Cool. You have them 6-0 now?
I got them 6-0.
Okay. Woo. I have a loss here at the Bengals, October 27th. Joe Burrow just cooks, man. If he's healthy and that Bengals team is in a good shape at that point. Now, granted, this could change because that Bengals team is never healthy. But if you're getting that regular Bengals team with Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, I think the Bengals pull that game out in Cincinnati, and the Eagles fall to 5-2.
Yeah. Eagles can beat this team, right? There's a lot that has to happen.
We can agree that the Eagles can beat any team on their roster, but they're not going to go 17-0.
Right. So you got to pick some losses here, and this is one that I would definitely pick, especially on the road in Cincinnati. You have a very formidable offense. Joe Burrow could cook, like you said. I don't know what they're doing defensively down there, outside of Trey Hendrickson and a few other guys on the Cincinnati side. But I'm going to go with a loss on that one on the road.
I'm gonna go with a loss there too, so I got them at 6-1 now.
All right, we both have them 5-2. You have them 6-1. I'm marking it down so we keep it. A lot of people don't notice the primetime game. Sunday Night Football. Doug Peterson comes back to the link. Second time back. Not his first time back. Second time back. Doug Peterson coming back to the link. Prime time. Eagles, Jaguars, November 3rd. I do not see a way they allow Doug Peterson to beat the Philadelphia Eagles. I think the Eagles are better than the Jaguars on both sides of the football. I love them as a bounce back game here and beating the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Yeah, I don't see the Jags coming in here and winning too. I mean, you have to question the back end of their defense still, right? I mean, the Eagles should eat in the passing game, especially on this. I don't see how, they're not going to lose back to back, and especially not at home. You get technically, it's not a whole lot of extra rest. It's a little bit, 4 hours, but still you got your primetime game. I don't see them not getting up for that. Dougie P, he's going to get a great ovation when he's at the stadium, as always he would. I wish him much success, but I don't think he'll be having it this night.
I've got the Jags taking the L here as well. I mean, they're a solid team, but I think we're a better overall team, and I think we'll be able to go out, especially with losing the week before, as we're anticipating, and not be too happy with taking that L. So we're taking it out on Jacksonville.
So now I got a loss coming, and I hate giving the Eagles losses, but they always split with Dallas, and they lose in Jerry World. That's always where they lose, and it feels like they're always getting beat there, and it always feels like it's a really funky call, a weird the fumble that they recovered, but then they didn't recover, or it's just a lot of stuff that happened. The offensive PI on Dallas Goedert a few years ago, one of the worst calls I ever seen in my entire life. If you guys remember that one, that was so bad. I have them
fumble that
losing
wasn't a fumble.
Yeah, no, all of them. I have them losing this game. Gives them their third loss at Dallas.
I have them losing this one too. This is their second loss for me at Dallas because we do split with Dallas. You got to be realistic. You know, you kind of want to, we're going to go out and crash Dallas and smash them because, you know, Dallas sucks and blah, this and blah, that. But you got to look at what history tells you about the Eagles and Dallas. And this is the one they'll win. I have to give them a L.
I think this is the Kellen Moore revenge game. And he's going to show out. And they're going to show up. This is where they break that. And they smash Dallas at home because it's been a problem. I don't have them losing this game. I think they win this game. I think they're on a roll, and I think Dallas is prime for a beating. Am I afraid of Rico Dowdle, Ezekiel Elliott, CD? Yeah, for sure. Dak's very capable quarterback. But they've definitely lost some parts, and I think this is the game where they come through. You know, this time we'll be able to capitalize on a Jalen Carter touchdown in the beginning of the game. So they barely beat the Birds last year. Or no, I'm sorry, it wasn't last year. I'm getting that Gardner Minshew game always pops up in my head. It was the year before last year, right? Yeah. But the Jalen Carter touchdown was last year, though.
Yes.
And so this time we're going to be able to capitalize on it. It's not going to go down like that. It's not. I'm telling you right now.
Short week at home versus the Washington Commanders. I love them in this spot as a bounce back. I have the Eagles winning this game.
Yeah,
short week for both teams. Obviously, the Commanders will be playing short. Also, it's a Thursday night football game, another primetime affair.
Yeah, I have the Eagles losing this game. You may say I'm crazy, but how many crazy games have we seen the Commanders play with the Eagles over the years that shouldn't have been close with subpar teams?
No,
a lot.
No one's calling you crazy. It's a division game, brother.
No.
Yeah, they're going to lose this game. I think this is an emotional letdown over an emotional win in Dallas on a short week.
Yeah, and because we both have Dallas winning, we have the opposite. So we have them winning.
All right, so Sunday night football a lot of primetime games this year. A lot of primetime games. Sunday night football game in Los Angeles. I love Philadelphia in this spot. The Philadelphia Eagles, a lot of people are worried about going on the road to the Rams. The Philadelphia Eagles own the Rams. I don't think the Eagles own the Rams like the Seattle Seahawks own the Eagles. I don't remember the last time Sean McVay's beat us. I don't know if he's ever beaten us. I'll take even the Carson Wentz game where he got hurt. Nick Foles found a way to win in LA. Last year, they found a way to win in LA. I love Philadelphia in this spot, Sunday night football. I have them beating the Rams week 12. I don't think the Rams are as good as people think they will be. And I think we have the corners that can match up with Cooper Kupp and Puka Nacua.
Yeah, Rams are an average team. I think they are getting overrated a little bit. 500 team at best. You don't lose a guy like Aaron Donald and just, your defensive coordinator leaves and you're just like, things will be running normally as usual. I don't think people understand what a force Aaron Donald was. And by the way, Aaron Donald would tell you he hated playing the Eagles because they handled him every time.
They triple teamed them, double teamed them.
Yeah. And
Aaron Donald said the comment to Jason Kelce, like, are you guys ever not going to double team me? And Jason Kelce responded with no.
Yeah. So I got them winning this game 100%. I don't see that being a problem at all.
I concur. Eagles win this game. This is not a team you want to lose to. There are some losses that we probably don't want to have that we might get. This is not one of the ones you want to be that. You need to go into the Rams and you need to get in that work. So I think that's what we're going to do.
I'll be honest. I think they get humbled December 1st in Baltimore. That's a primetime game. That's one of those games that Baltimore probably has circled. It's in Baltimore's house. I think they're one of the top 3-4 teams in the NFL. I think Baltimore absolutely spanks them. I think this is the Eagles' one big blowout this year, and I have them losing to Baltimore in Baltimore.
Yeah, I think I got this as a loss too. It's a tough road game against a really good Baltimore Ravens team.
Especially on the back-to-back road games, traveling from cross country, coming back, and then having to travel, even though it's just short to Baltimore. You're coming from LA back to Philadelphia. I think this is an easy L on the schedule. This is a built-in L.
Yeah, definitely.
I agree. 100%. I mean, I've had it L the whole time. Still a nil.
All right, so here we go. And not the Dak Prescott. Here we go. I have the Eagles bouncing back versus the Carolina Panthers. And I think they're a very improved Carolina Panthers team. I think Dave Canales has Bryce Young looking like Alabama Bryce Young. I think the Panthers in this spot will be a lot more dangerous than people expect them to be. Expect this game to be a little bit closer coming off that blowout loss, but I have the Eagles handling business versus the Carolina Panthers.
Yeah, the Panthers are going to get beat. I mean, they're in a rebuild process still, which is a brand new rebuild process after a failed one the year before. So I this is the guy they're going with, that they have in there now, and I don't see them really. I don't see them coming into the Eagles on the road after a loss, beating the Eagles. It might be a game where you feel like, man, we really had to squeak that one out, but we saw some positives and we got back on the win.
Yeah, we should beat the Panthers pretty handily. Hopefully by the middle or early part of the fourth quarter, we're starting to put in some backups because of this pretty handy win. Live in Charlotte, but unfortunately the game is in Philly. If it was in Charlotte, I would definitely be there.
So we talked about this before you hopped on. Cool. After week 12, they no longer will be on an airplane the rest of the season. They'll obviously take the bus down to Baltimore. They're home versus Carolina. They're home versus the Steelers. I have that being a win December 15th. I think the Steelers are on a very down year in that AFC North. 2 quarterbacks. Yep. They should be starting Justin. I think by this time, Justin Fields will be starting. I don't think it'll be enough. I have the Philadelphia Eagles winning this game also.
Yeah, shoot, Justin Fields starting this week. Russell Wilson hurt.
Is Russell Wilson out?
Yeah, he's hurt this week.
Did they say? Well, they said he's questionable with calf tightness, but I don't know if he's fully out yet. But he might be.
The last thing I saw was they said that Justin Fields would be starting.
Wow.
Yeah, that's the last thing I saw. I've been, trying to keep up every now and then when I can sneak a look. But either way, I agree with Gene. Justin Fields should be starting by then. Justin Fields personally will give us fits. He always has, right? Because of the way he runs the ball. He's a big, strong, aggressive runner of the ball, and he can throw some too. But I do think this new look defense, and by this time everybody will be real strong gel together. Big Fangio is going to be on these guys. He's a dog as a coach. He rides them hard so that they're prepared for anything. No diddy. So I do have the Eagles winning this game.
I will give the Philadelphia Eagles their 5th loss, and this will be the weird one. Week 16, December 22nd at the Commanders. I think this is what you would call a look-ahead game. I think the Dallas Cowboy game will be to clinch the division. I think the Eagles somewhat look past the Commanders, and Jaden Daniels is coming in strong, and that Commanders team is closing the season out much better than they started. I think the Eagles lose this football game in Washington is part of what you would guys call a trap game. I have the Eagles losing this one and giving them their 5th loss.
Well, go learn, Gene. I can just let you go. I don't even need to be here. I actually agree completely 100%. We haven't lost to the Commanders in D.C. in a while. I think, maybe once in the last 5 years. So they're going to be hungry, to get a dub at home against the Eagles. So I think this is the one. Like you said, it's poorly placed on our schedule right before we already lost to Dallas once. We got to play them again. We're not going to lose. We're not trying to lose to Dallas twice this season. So the last 3 games, the focus is going to be on week 17. And I know they're going to come out and say, we focus on every game and, it's just whatever the next week. That is a bold-faced lie. That Dallas game, the 29th, is going to be the focus. 27th is going to be one of those you got, and we always have a funky one. That's the one I got too.
Did I get my Steelers pick? I don't know.
I thought you gave the Eagles as a win on the Steelers, but
it's a win. It's kind of hard to forecast where the Steelers are going to be by that time of the year, but I just feel like the Eagles are going to be too much for them defensively. Yeah, if things gel like we think it will. The Commanders game, I look at it as a win. They lost to them early in the year, so we haven't split, and I have them going as a win here. I don't see them doing that. And part of that isn't part of the players. It's I don't trust Cliff Kingsbury. I think their recent move of trading Jahan Johnson was wholesale stupid and silly, and it makes it hard for me to trust them to develop the young man in Jalen Daniels is and put weapons around him. You put weapons around a young quarterback, not detract weapons. I'm sorry, Damani Brown. They're playing. I'm sorry. So I don't have faith in that organization. Still, I still think they're fumbling the football when it comes to doing the right thing. So I think the Eagles take this one, and it's a revenge game. And they seem to always do pull it out. Whatever you want to call that stadium, where the Josh Harris is, that FedEx Field crap, whatever. They're gonna get beat.
All right, we got
the commies.
Week 17 versus the Dallas Cowboys in Lincoln Financial Field. This is exactly the time when the Dallas Cowboys like to crumble, and this is exactly the time where I think the Philadelphia Eagles layeth the smackdown on their Rudy Poo candy asses. I love the Philadelphia Eagles in this spot. I think they dominate Dallas. They split with them, and I think this is the staple game that leads them into the playoffs. I have them winning this football game.
Me too. I think they're going to sweep the Cowboys. Just going out on a limb. I don't care what anybody says. This is the year, make or break year for McCarthy. This is the make or break year for a lot of stuff going on in that team. And I think that the Cowboys have lost pieces and they're grasping at straws right now. Yeah, they got some good players on there, but I just don't see it. They've lost some O-line. They've made some draft picks. I don't see it. I really don't. And, Dak Prescott shows us every time why he's just a bit outside. So I'm going to go with them winning this game.
Yeah, definitely going to go with Philly in this game, revenge game. This will be 2 games before this in a row that we lost to Dallas. The game last season, first game this season. So it's time for a little payback because we know the fans of the Cowboys will be out in full force talking a whole lot of smack.
Cockroaches?
So,
I got news for you. I think this is the game that the Cowboys are eliminated from playoff contention. I think the Philadelphia Eagles knocked them out of the playoffs this game. I think they're eliminated before Week 18.
Which will lend to my theory of this is the final year for the McCarthy project. Spray those cockroaches. Spray them. They're in there. Hit them with that.
And then Week 18, I have the Philadelphia Eagles taking care of business versus the New York Giants. I have them finishing out at 12-5, exactly where I had them projecting before the season.
Yeah, this game, I don't know. It's hard to tell if it's a loss if it doesn't matter. That's what I think.
I feel like it's going to matter, bro.
You
have them at this point at 12-4. They're going to be battling for the 1 seed, the 2 seed here. I don't understand why this game would not matter. If they were 15-0 or 15-1, the game might not matter. But at 12-4, I don't see how it can't matter.
13-4 with my homer picks. Let's go, baby. 13 wins.
Yeah, I'll say as long as we lose the games that we expect to lose, right? Because I think I have them at 12-4 coming into the week 2 because I think I've got 4 losses as well, different ones. So if they need to win this game to solidify the number 1 seed or have a chance, which probably will happen if we have 4 losses, they're going to win. If they don't need the game, if they can't get the number 1 seed or they already have it locked up because of how things have worked with everybody else and tiebreakers and everything, then I think the Giants win. But I will go with the assumption, like Gene is saying, that we'll probably need to win this game and not have 5 losses to be a number 1 seed. So we should win this game.
All right, so Cool has them at 13-4, Godfrey 13-4, and I have them at 12-5. What a pessimist I am. Absolute pessimist over here. I'm kidding. I'll sign up for 12-5 right now. You give me 12-5. I know I obviously want to watch every game because I'm addicted to watching football. You want to talk about a guy? I just paid my NFL package for this year for all 22, $116.99 this year. The all 22 is expensive. NFL is not getting cheaper, but I get to watch all football games in 22 minutes. So when I'm going to bed, that's my nighttime routine is going through film and really rewatching these games. So I can't get enough of it, right? And what we got to do is we want to break down the Philadelphia Eagles versus the Green Bay Packers on Friday night, which we all listed as a win. Now, where I want to start is keys to victory, because if we all have them winning the football game, what part of the Green Bay Packers most worries you? And to me, it's a combination. I said it earlier, and I'll say it again so Cool can hear it. It's a combination of whether our defensive line can get pressure on the quarterback so our secondary can stick with these wide receivers. I think Green Bay has a very underrated receiving corps. They have 4 guys that can go across the field. From Dontavian Wicks to Romeo Doubs to Jaden Reed to Christian Watson, and they're all healthy for the first time ever in the history of ever. They also have a tight end by the name of Luke Musgrave, who's an absolute stud. Somebody got a hand injury?
Romeo Doubs, hand.
Oh, God. They're
Is
never
he out?
But,
I was looking that up. Is he out? Is he out? Cool.
He's probable so far. I think he's going to try to play. It makes sense for him to try to play. But, I mean, I don't know how much you can squeeze the ball. You got a hand injury. But, you know.
I think the Eagles have to play disciplined ball. And what I mean by that is, Christian Watson doesn't scare me as a route runner. Romeo Doubs, I think, is the most polished route runner on that team. I've always been a Romeo Doubs guy, as you guys know from last year. Jaden Reed is he's got that Debo-esque kind of feel to him, but not Debo big enough. Dontavian Wicks. Like the Packers just seem to breed receivers lately. So kudos to them. And Jordan Love, I do think, is a good quarterback, but I think that the Eagles, if they play in their lanes and they play the Vic Fangio system, they're going to be able to do this. And I think the offense is going to have to help them out, because what you always do against the Packers is you run the ball, because they just can't seem to stop the run most of the time. And you eat the hell of the clock. I think Saquon is chomping at the bit to play in a meaningful game at the start of a season. When in that guy's career, maybe the 1 year they made the playoffs, was it really like, you look at his career and you're like, man, what a shame he went to the Giants. You always said that to yourself, right? And now he's in a team that he wanted to be on. This guy's motivated. You have the NFL Hard Knocks, Giants, off-season show where they just look like complete asshats. I'm just like, he wants to make Joe Shane or Schoen or whatever that Tweedledum is lose his job by showing out.
So you think the Eagles' offensive line and their run game is the key to victory over the Green Bay Packers? I think the Eagles getting pressure on the quarterback to keep it off their cornerback. So I think their D-line versus a Packers beat up offensive line. This is not a good Packers offensive line. The offensive line preseason is ranked 23rd in the NFL. They're not a good offensive line. The Philadelphia Eagles need to generate a pass rush without having to blitz. They have to be able to drop people back, and they have to be able to stop the run. They're going to want to try to run the ball with Josh Jacobs. They just spent a lot of money on him. I love the Philadelphia Eagles defensive line to get their claws in. I think Jalen Carter has a monster game. So my key to victory is our defensive line getting pressure on the quarterback and stopping the run.
Cool. Is he playing on the end? Jalen Carter getting the 3-4? Is he playing on the end? Or
yes.
is he still okay?
Jordan Davis will be your interior.
I like that, and I'm going to tell you why I like that. Because last year Brian Baldinger did a film breakdown of Jalen Carter, very good film breakdown. He talked about how he was getting double teamed, and he was still getting to the play sometimes on it. But when he was able to get double teamed, Fletcher Cox would bust through and make that play. Now that was in a 4-3 setup. You're in a 3-4 setup, and I think Jalen Carter absolutely has the skills to beat someone on the edge. And they're going to have to make a choice. Is Bryce Huff playing behind him, or is that on the other side? I'm trying to.
Bryce Huff and Josh Sweat will be your basically edge linebackers that they're calling them now. I still think they're edge rushers. They're defensive linemen. They're calling.
Right.
They're just stand up.
They're really edges. They're calling them outside linebackers, but they're really edges.
But Bryce Huff will be on the Jalen Carter side. That's what.
You're gonna have to stop. You're gonna have to make a choice for Huff or Carter. It's gonna be hard to double team him and then keep Huff down too. I think. Now, I know there's some questions about Huff, but that's what Jalen Carter does. He swallows up two guys, so you're gonna have to make a choice. I think it's gonna be tougher to double team him on the edge, in my opinion, than it is up the middle.
So, what's the key to victory? Cool.
So, to me, there's two keys. Number one, we have to run the ball. We have to be able to exploit, like you said, the fact that their line's a little banged up. Well, their defensive line is not the greatest, right? I mean, I was talking to the Packers. I was talking to the Packers fans last night, and they even admit their defensive line is not the greatest.
They still have Kenny Clark, who's an absolute stuffer of the run. He's a massive man, but yeah, Preston Smith and TJ Slayton ain't anything to write home about.
So my concern for the Eagles in one spot where we have to be really good is between Cam Jurgens and what's my man that's starting?
Mekhi Becton?
Yeah, Becton. That whole, how they communicate and how they work together, because they really just been working together since camp. Where a lot of the rest of the line, even Jurgens with the other guys, they've worked together at least as a line before. So Becton being right there, I think that's a concern. But even in the preseason, when we did see Saquon Barkley, I saw a video of A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith. He made a move, and they just looked at each other like, oh, you know what I'm saying? So
yeah,
his ability to run and his ability to be healthy is going to be key to not just this game, but the season, because that gives us an opportunity to say we can back off of Jalen Hurts some. We don't have to try to do 8 tush pushes every 10 plays whenever it's a 4th and 1 or 3rd and 1 or 3rd and 2. I also think that making things difficult for Jordan Love. So this is one thing that a lot of people haven't talked about. Jordan Love is technically a second-year starter, right? He had a couple of games the year before last, but as a full season, kind of like what Hurts. This is technically his full second year starting. So what you can do in this situation is you can give him looks he hasn't seen before and give him one thing based on film and do something else. Vic Fangio has, the last 10 to 8 games, he was supposed to be the best quarterback in the league or one of the best quarterbacks. We have that on film. Vic Fangio has had that all off season to make sure that he installs the proper defenses to confuse this guy, make him see one thing and actually give him something else. So if we can disguise what we're doing and run the ball and pound it on that line when we have the ball on offense, take the shots when they're there, absolutely. But if we run the ball efficiently and effectively and we make him see things that aren't there so that we can get him to make poor plays, not necessarily turnovers, but poor plays, not get first downs, give us more opportunities, I think that's the keys to us winning this game.
I do think it's interesting because I wish we were playing against the Packers defense last year. They just hired a new defensive coordinator, Joe Hafley, and Joe Hafley's entire scheme is to pressure the quarterback. And you want to create turnovers by causing pressure, which will allow the Eagles to show whether they can beat the blitz. If I'm the Packers, I'm doing exactly what the Giants, the Buccaneers, the Cardinals, all those teams did down the stretch. Nickel, double mug, quarterback contained blitz. And if I run that blitz and I run it over and over and over again, Jalen proves he can beat it, the Eagles are going to win this game handily.
Yeah.
You see,
that's why I'm saying run the ball. That's the main reason. Run the ball. You want to keep pass blitz in the run if you want to, because if you let Saquon get in some space, it's going to get ugly for him real quick.
They're not good at covering the tight end in Green Bay. I don't know if it's going to change with new offensive coordinator, but every time the Eagles play them,
they were 4-3. They were 3-4 last year. And it looks like, just giving you my 2 cents, it looks like Isaiah McDuffie will be the guy that's responsible for the tight ends. He's decent in coverage. I don't think that Dallas Goedert's going to be able to run wild on him, but he is a former 6th rounder. He's nobody special. But I think in that 4-3 system, you're going to see a combination of McDuffie, and then you'll see who's their safety? I'm sorry. I'm drawing a blank right now. They have a safety on the Packers. I'll tell you right now. Let me pull it up. I normally can do this all off memory. Xavier McKinney. I think you'll see Xavier McKinney and Isaiah McDuffie kind of bracketing. Now, I'll tell you where I think the Packers really struggle, and it's the slot. And I'm not saying Jahan Dotson in the slot. I think that this Kellen Moore offense will run a lot of A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith in the slot. They've always struggled in the slot, but this is a new defensive scheme. I don't know what it's going to look like. Moving from a 3-4 to a 4-3 is different. They're going to run a lot of nickel. They're going to run extra packages to where they have an extra corner on the field. But their depth at the cornerback position is not what you would think it would be. And Jair Alexander does not, as much as he travels and follows Justin Jefferson around, he does not travel to the slot. And Kellen Moore's offense is 100% around motion, your best receiver being in the slot, and stretch running the football, which he had so much success with Ezekiel Elliott and Tony Pollard last year or 2 years ago.
Yeah, I know they changed things up, but that Kellen Moore offense it's supposed to put a little bit more emphasis on the tight end as well. I mean, you still see elements of that in the offense that they have now, even though I know it's not, he was still there under McCarthy for at least one season, I believe, not two. I think it was one season. Am I correct, Kellen Moore?
I believe it was two.
It was two.
I think McCarthy's been there for 3 years. This is his fourth and final year of his contract. Kellen Moore was for the Chargers 1 year.
Yeah, so you see some elements of that, and I've seen the Packers. It's a weakness of theirs. I just think it has to do with their personnel. You talk about the guy being from the 6th round, and that Kellen Moore offense, I think, could take advantage of that, especially when it comes to the blitz and the slot. I totally agree with you, and I think you're going to be able to exploit that in multiple ways. And it's just you're going to have to pick your poison. Yeah, all right, bracket them, right? But I think that the Eagles are deep enough now. I don't know how far along Jahan Dotson will be as far as participation in the game, be getting to the team late in camp, but I'm pretty sure he's a smart kid and he knows how to pick up football and knows how to run routes. So I still think he can contribute. So I don't think it needs to be, he doesn't need a full offseason surgery to pick up the Eagles offense, in my opinion.
I think you'll see him have at least 15 to 20 snaps in this football game.
Yeah, he's going to be a factor. And, that's like, that was a move where the rest of the league was like, shit, we're going to have to deal with that now. You know what I mean? And I think that offense is going to be able to take advantage of the blitz. And that's where I'm looking from Jalen. Like, hey, man, he has to do better. Whatever the reason was, he has to do better than he did last year when it came to the blitz. He's going to have his opportunity to do that in this game.
I'll tell you what the reason was. They had no idea how to pick it up, bro. I don't mean to sound rude when I say this. We were watching the Eagles game last year and thinking, I can do a better job at offense coordinator than Brian Johnson and Nick Sirianni, because you watch the way they played against the blitz. It was embarrassing. I learned blitz beaters in high school.
Yeah.
And the thing is, I'm still of the opinion Jalen Hurts was hurt a lot of that last half of the season. So he didn't have the same mobility as well. So them not picking up the blitz, less mobility, more sacks, more hurries in the pocket, more panic when the blitz comes.
Yep.
This is a perfect segue here. How do you guys feel about Jalen's comments regarding Jason Kelce when he said, well, I didn't really get to run it? What do you guys think about that? Or,
so overblown, Godfrey. That wasn't meant as a dig. Jason,
I don't think it was meant as a dig. I think it just, is there a certain time when they were like, all right, well, listen, we know Jason's retiring and Jalen's he's got to do it himself.
There's no way they did that week 12 of last year. There's no way they decided to allow Jalen Hurts to start picking up the blitz in week 12 of last year. There's no way that happened.
It sounds like he wants to do it, which I'm glad, because it shows the dude's got that fire. But it was still an interesting comment. I do think it was blown out of proportion for real.
It was perceived as a dig towards Kelce, which
I didn't take it as a dig. I don't think that's a dig at all.
But a lot of people said it was. It was a dig towards Kelce. I didn't agree with that at all.
I was just thinking he said he wanted to be more involved in other ways in the game plan and doing it. I think he was basically saying, I want more responsibility. That's the way I looked at it.
Well, the thing is, they try to find anything, right? Because he's a lovable guy. So think about this. A lot of people talk about, I hate the Eagles, but I love Jalen Hurts, right? So they're trying to find a way to make him like us fans and everybody else, more hateable. And everybody loves Jason Kelce. I agree. It's not a dig. It was just more like, well, he was doing these things last year, but now I have an opportunity to do them and see things through my eyes, right? Because Kelce can't see what Hurts sees. Hurts can't see what Kelce sees. These are two entirely different guys. So now he gets an opportunity to do more of what other quarterbacks do around the league. And that's okay. Him wanting to do more does not mean he's taking a dig as Kelce. Is more saying, like, if Jason's here, he's been doing this, I got to have the respect to let the man who is the OG here do that, and I got to kind of sit back. But now that he's not here, I want to do it.
Yeah, I mean, people trying to make that into a dig, I think, was a reach. I mean, I didn't take it that way. I mean, the way he talks, he's very even keeled a lot of times, and they want a reaction out of Jalen, and they don't get it, and so it frustrates them, and then they invent his reaction because he didn't give it to him. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And I think he was honestly answering that, and I think the guy just said he wants to do more. And when you boil it down to like simplicity,
I just want to see how the Eagles look with a real offensive coordinator. I think it was a huge mistake last year promoting from within. I think it was a huge mistake bringing Sean Desai in, who was not a experienced defensive coordinator. I think they've made all the right moves in the offseason, and the Philadelphia Eagles don't get it together this year. I think it has everything to do with them and not to do with the organization or the coaching staff. Sirianni shouldn't be there. I'm not a Sirianni guy at all, but I think he's a figurehead.
Agreed.
I think he's the figurehead. Vic Fangio is going to run the defense. Kellen Moore is going to run the offense. I'm excited to see what this season brings. But the thing that scares me most is it's lipstick on a pig. The Philadelphia Eagles have a great season offensively this year. Kellen Moore gets a head coaching job. You better go out and hire another offensive coordinator. And then guess what? Jalen Hurts is going to have to learn another system, another year. It's one of those things where why teams are so easy to hire a head coach that's an offensive coordinator, because their quarterbacks don't have to learn different offenses every year. Brock Purdy's going to run the same offense under Kyle Shanahan. Matt Stafford's going to run the same offense under Sean McVay. Patrick Mahomes is going to run the same offense under Andy Reid.
Yep.
Now, Josh Allen, who's had his struggles, finally looks like he has an offensive coordinator to replace replace Brian Daboll with Joe Brady. But the Philadelphia Eagles, when you gave him an offensive coordinator for 2 straight years with Shane Steichen, look how Jalen looked in year 2 when he fully understood that playbook, when he fully understood that offense. So I think that's really important for the Eagles, and they have a very good year on the offensive side of the ball. I'd be really inclined to hire Kellen Moore and move on from Sirianni.
Yeah, but he's going to have
Mike
to have
McDonald's another one
to do that.
too. Mike McDaniel is another one. Two will be in the same system under him. But yeah, correct. That's the juxtaposition, we'll say, of having a good year and having a good OC. So for me, it's always backbuild the staff. You should be bringing somebody in as like your wide receiver coach, your assistant head coach and quality control guy or whatever, that could assume that role and keep us similar, if not the same, offense. And that's where I think hopefully they learn from what we went through last year that you have to do.
And I don't mind paying Kellen Moore head coach money to be our offensive.
I don't either.
Doesn't come out of my
paying him head coach money to be the head coach.
We got a minute left. Let's give score predictions on the game and then a quick counterfeit green if you have one, because I have one. I don't know if you guys have one, but I have a really good one, so I have to give it. Let's give score predictions. I've already gave mine on Wire to Wire last night. I have the Eagles winning 31-20 in a game that doesn't look as close as the score tells you.
Yeah, I got the Eagles winning. I'm going to go 28-24.
Close one.
I got the Eagles winning 35-24.
I like that. 11-point win. We're in the same ballpark.
Yep, that's what I got.
I got a counterfeit green this week, and it's not going to be with the I'm going to tell you. My counterfeit green is the Commanders, organization in Josh Harris. The Commanders have fired an employee one day after a video surfaced in which he made comments about the team's players being anti-gay, accused Cowboys owner Jerry Jones of being racist, and called NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell a $50 million puppet. Washington's vice president of content the previous 4 years also criticized fans, calling them mouth breathers. I can't. But you tell me anything he said that was inaccurate. The man got fired for telling the truth.
What was his position?
You can't tell the truth.
He's the VP of VP of content.
Yeah, VP of content. Yes, he was. Yep.
They catch him on a hot mic?
Yeah.
No, what happened was how they did it was they had someone pose as someone he met online.
Yeah.
and then he's dumb, and he should have been fired for saying the things he said to who he said it to, regardless of if it came out or not, right? But at the end of the day, you have to be smarter and not make those comments to someone that you're just meeting from an online website.
He said, N-Team told the Undercover Report, over 50% of our roster is white religious, and God says F the gays. Their interpretation, I don't buy any of that. Another big chunk of low-income African Americans that come from a community that is inherently very homophobic. Oh, my God.
I mean, it sounds bad, but neither one of those things are necessarily live. Yeah.
Nothing he said was inaccurate.
But you have to be fired for saying it how you said it.
Yeah, you're right.
So I have a counterfeit green, and I'm going to piggyback it off of Josh Harris, and I'm going to go outside of football, okay? Counterfeit green is Josh Harris in general, and him wanting to take the Sixers to Camden. Don't let the door hit you in the ass. Go be in Camden, and take Philly off your damn name if you do it too. I want you to be the New Jersey 76ers.
If the Philadelphia 76ers move to New Jersey, I will be picking a new basketball franchise to support for the rest of my days. I'm done with the 76ers.
Yeah, listen, nobody in this city, including myself, who is a voter and a taxpayer in this city, we do not want this damn arena in Chinatown. It's overwhelmingly against. And they keep trying to put out this propaganda BS all the time. And it's all because they don't like Comcast Spectacor. Get along to get along. No one wants to go to a different place in the city in Philadelphia.
One of the great parts of Philadelphia is that all their stadiums are in one little area. That's 100%. One of the greatest parts of Philadelphia. I think that him trying to move this into Center City or Camden, New Jersey is a huge, huge mistake. They just put Philly Live down there at Casino. You have Xfinity Live. Like, that area is popping. I think you're an idiot.
It is.
They're being selfish, and they don't. And Josh Harris is counterfeit green because he doesn't care about the fans in any organization that he owns, even outside of Philadelphia. He just wants to increase the net worth of his team so he can sell it and move on. I'm not with that guy. I barely. It almost makes me not want to move the Sixers. I dislike him that much. For you to put this town through the process, and we stuck with you, and all this losing and all that, and then you want to throw a little bitch fit and move to New Jersey. F you, dude. I'm not even having it. Josh Harris is so counterfeit. It doesn't surprise me what you're telling me about what he did as the new Commanders owner. This dude is a chameleon. He's bankrupt, morally, and no one likes him in Philly. Like, go to Camden. We dare you. Go ahead, dude.
We're done with him. You got one, Godfrey, before we wrap? Cool, before we wrap up?
I do, actually. My counterfeit green is on whoever made the list of top quarterbacks, leaving Jalen Hurts out of the top 10. You're counterfeit. And you know what? I appreciate you for being counterfeit, because all you're doing is adding more fuel to the fire. All you're doing is making the chip on this man's shoulder bigger. So keep talking. All you people that keep talking bad about my QB1, all you people that keep doubting the team, all you people that try to play our OC because he was in Dallas, he can't help who hired him. You go where the money's at. All that, you just wait.
All right, close us out, Godfrey.
Wait. Cool, I got to ask you, who is the most egregious quarterback on that list where you were like, all right, that's the Charlotte broke the camel's back? There had to be one quarterback on that list that they had over Jalen. You're like, you got to be kidding me.
There's not just one. There's 3 or 4.
Just give me one that comes to mind real quick.
CJ Stroud. He's done it for 1 year.
Yeah, I agree.
All right, close us out, Godfrey. We got to wrap up.
All right, guys. We're going to be talking football. We're going to be talking about all the teams on Wire to Wire. All right. And I'm getting do I want to say sideline to sideline? Am I getting an old name? I forget.
Sideline's our name, brother.
Sideline to sideline. So, check us out on Wire to Wire. Thanks for listening to us. You're going to be getting these shows every week during the Eagles season. And this is the Godfrey, Gene, the NFL genius, and Mr. Cool McCain. Not saying goodbye, but saying take it birds deep.
Take care, y'all.